So then I would need a motion to approve a second reading of the ordinance providing for the vacation and conveyance of a portion of the Fifth Street Northeast right-of-way. I have a motion itself. Do I have a second? Tom? This would then be a roll call.
Houston.
Yes.
Hannah.
Price, yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Goddard.
Yes.
Laughlin.
No.
Benson.
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Passes 6-1. So we're on item number 6, the Noah Marting Gymnastics. This is also a motion for public hearing, so I need a motion to receive and file the proof of publication of the notice of public hearing for the proposed development agreement with the Noah Marting Gymnastics.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, I need a motion to hold the public hearing with respect to the proposed development agreement. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. We're now in the public hearing itself.
I did not.
I had a call questioning whether this is actually in the city. That's, oh, can I get the out now?
I checked
It is. Because
It's right across from,
Whole property is,
yes.
yep, whole property is it's on
Your state property.
over there, but.
I'll believe you.
Any other discussion with regard to the public hearing portion of this? And I need a motion to close the hearing and receive and file the oral and written comments.
second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of closing public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, I need would then be a motion to approve a resolution approving the development agreement for the Noah Marting Gymnastics and authorizing the annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
I move.
I have a motion and a second then? Okay. Any further discussion on this? We would have a roll call vote, please.
Crusader.
Yes.
O'Loughlin.
Yes.
Benson.
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
It passes 7-0. Next, we go to item 7, which is hearings and ordinances. Item A here is Code Section 6906, parking regulations, parking prohibited. This is a public hearing, first reading. So first, I need a motion to receive and file the proof of publication in the notice of public hearing for amending Code Section 69.06, Sub 4, parking regulations, parking prohibited.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Passes 7-0. Sorry, Mike, I'm cutting you off too quickly. I'll try to refrain. Next, I need a motion to hold the public hearing itself.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of having a public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. We're now in a public hearing. Just for brief, we've had several discussions about this. The issue is whether or not when the cars are parked upon the sidewalks in town, whether or not that's something that the police department should be moving forward and writing tickets on for violations. And at one of the meetings, we had a discussion about the current ordinance reads that no one shall stop, stand, or park a vehicle except when necessary to avoid conflict with other traffic or in compliance with directions of a peace officer or a traffic control device in any of the following places. And item number 4 is sidewalks. And it says on or across a sidewalk. So the issue is whether we want to change that and instead of saying on or across a sidewalk, say completely blocking a sidewalk. So that would be the change. The rationale is that we don't want to be in a situation where we're arbitrarily enforcing certain laws. We want to enforce the laws the way that they're intended to be written. And if our intention is that if a part of the vehicle is partially over top of the sidewalk, but you can still get by on the sidewalk, the way that the current code reads, that would still be a violation such that it would be ticketed, could be ticketed. So the discussion that the council had in the past about this was we want to write the tickets when the sidewalk is completely blocked and pedestrians, whether walking or in wheelchairs or whatever the case may be, don't have the ability to get by the sidewalk at all because it's blocked and they have to then go into the street. So that's the impetus of why we're doing this. Other discussion at this point then.
Completely blocked.
It must be completely blocking a sidewalk as opposed to on or across, because on or across can be somewhat vague in terms of the term. And the thought process was we want to talk about something that's completely blocking so that you have no access.
But then where's the draw there? 3/4 of it can be blocked, or half of it can be blocked?
Unless if we were to pass this, I mean, you can comment if you'd like to, but my understanding would be is if this was passed and we changed the ordinance, it would have to be completely blocked such that nobody could get past without going off of it, either onto the grass or into the street, as opposed to having it be any part of the sidewalk, which is the way it currently is. Does that make sense to people?
Somewhat, but I'm still saying if the sidewalk's half blocked and a wheelchair's going through it, and they're getting half off into the grass, it's not good for a wheelchair.
The main concern I would have require a sidewalk to be completely blocked. Usually it's a city sidewalk, not always. City, regardless. Possible. Having defended them, I might consider that vote on this. Partially blocked or any sidewalk clearer and also work better with the federal laws on accommodations. Councilmember Hannon makes a good point. The sidewalk is usually going to be built to suit us standards, to accommodate, especially new sidewalks that are built, accommodate wheelchairs. Any portion of that sidewalk is blocked, you're responsible for it. You would probably find somebody. I just think it's probably better to have a policy.
The problem that we were having was that we've got some places within the city where people park their cars either in the street or they're partially over top of the sidewalk itself.
Where the sidewalk is promoting the road.
That's right.
No green median.
That's right.
And that's what it is.
So because we are, our police chief, and we're talking to him, we were trying to decide whether everybody should get a ticket if they're in any way blocking any portion of the sidewalk, because that's the way that the ordinance reads, and we don't want to do selective enforcement. So the idea was, do we want to be in a position where we're writing everybody a ticket, or we're going to try to figure out what's the best way of doing this?
That's not exactly right, because again, it came up because we wrote some tickets as a response to a complaint, and then someone else didn't like it and complained. So that's where we've gotten with this. As far as everybody getting a ticket or nobody getting a ticket, that's never going to happen, because I don't have the manpower and resources to give everybody tickets at all times. This is where it had gone due to the fact of the 2 complaints. So it really doesn't make it any different with enforcement, because we can enforce either one, but it just It's to whether you wanted it enforced that way or not. That's the point.
My understanding was when we talked about this previously, is there were some portions of within the city itself where there's no way that the cars can park without blocking some portion of the sidewalk.
that's
Which means that every single person that's parked anywhere along there is in violation of the ordinance. But
Residential, residential housing is going to cause that problem, as well as business cause that problem. They're parking.
correct. So we were trying to find a happy medium here where by using some type of language, we were able to say whether, if sidewalks, if a car was completely blocking the sidewalk, then it probably should be, written up. If a car is partially blocking it so that somebody can still have access, but they're just, the entire width of the sidewalk is not available. That's where this language came from, the prior council.
But none of this came from me, is my point. I didn't ask for a change in the ordinance.
No, absolutely, you did
I'm
not.
just letting you know. I just want the council to be aware. I didn't ask for a change in the ordinance. We went out and enforced the ordinance as it was. We got feedback, and then that's where the council was at. I can enforce it the way it is, that's not a problem.
It's one of those things where if you park over you're saying you can't always enforce it. So if you're parking and you're over the sidewalk, you might or might not get a ticket depending on.
So it's the same thing at your home when when you've got multiple cars in your driveway and one of them is partially coming across the sidewalk, which is where the ticket was written that started this whole discussion. So it's just a matter of do we want to leave it the way that it is, or do we want to try to make some type of a change such that we're trying to better explain what our intentions are?
I would make a motion. There are 5 of the 7 councils. I would say going to enforce an ordinance like that in order to violate the rules and their intent. I think certain
But you also run into the problem where I've seen it, there is a sidewalk, but you have 2 people walking right in the road
all the time.
all the time. So if there's concern, if you do or if you don't.
With the trail up there, people still walk off the highway.
Can I say something about the ordinance? I would rather see us stay with partially blocking and let it be the officer's discretion to decide whether he should write a ticket. I think it's, when you go strict black and white, it's never a good thing. And I think the officer needs to make it.
Well, and
And on a complete-
just as with the other laws, then we'll do it when we see it, or if somebody calls us. But I don't want to get into a situation where, well, I drove by one the other day. Did somebody call me? No. Well, it's not going to happen. One way or the other, I just want to put the issue to bed. That's my thought. And if you decide to go one way with it, we'll enforce it that way. If you go the other way with it, we'll enforce it the other way. But we'll still do it based upon when we have the time, manpower, and we can see.
The other way to look at it, John, is that I could see a couple neighbors getting along, and the vehicle may be just like a bumper into the sidewalk. Currently, that would be in violation.
And that happens all the time on a lot of our ordinances that we have, Tom, barking dogs and all that. But that neighbor has to be the one to step up, call, make the complaint, we go out, and then if there's a hearing, they're the one that gets the statement and they have to run as a witness. That's the point.
Where's the ADA law?
Mainly incumbent upon public authority not to enact I would recommend that we table this until we get or if you want to do it, and so we have some safe language. A, give the police good guidance on how to make sure that, for example, taking a long time, anything that's substantially traffic, inside for all persons. Take it. Right, and that would be, of course, would be the obvious violation. Say the public works, so something like that, and somebody would park the truck there, we put some blocks and anybody's access, except for people that turn sidle past, that would be a problem. So you might want some language in the ordinance to make it clear.
I just want to make a question. ADA, these are residential people that we're talking about.
Correct.
The ADA doesn't apply
It
to
wouldn't
the
necessarily.
individual homeowners. This applies to businesses and to the city government. So if you're talking about ADA, you're not talking about the situation that we had where somebody parked a car in a driveway and police came by in the middle of the night and said, oh, this car is open. That's why they wrote the ticket.
That would be a different circumstance entirely. That's part of the problem with the broad definition of ordinance. It doesn't necessarily talk about the distinction on maintenance. Permitting a condition in the code, say no tickets are ever issued, enforcement. That could be a problem in some places. That's a good point. Somebody just parking the truck in the driveway.
Right, and see that the original ticket that this all arose out of and this discussion came out of was a residential where the car in the driveway was partially blocking the sidewalk. And that's how, and they got a ticket about it, and they were upset about it, and that's where the discussion came from. So we were trying to figure out, I think we were I agree with you, we were narrowly looking at this in terms of the residential aspect of it as opposed to the other business and other aspects of it.
Sidewalks are ADA because otherwise we wouldn't have put it in every one of the intersections. That's why
Those are city-owned property.
well, we own our sidewalks in town. So the city owns them. We put them in.
And the responsibility. No,
The ADA.
Get another draft. There's another reason why I think we probably table
Yeah, I need a motion to
after
table.
we come after.
I'd make a motion to close the public hearing.
A motion is second. All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Passes 7-0. We're now out of the public hearing. You want to have further discussion, or does somebody have a motion?
I'd like to table
We have a motion to table the discussion with regard to the change in the ordinance. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second to table this. We had this regular. Just to table, we took this, I think the majority vote.
Yeah, it's not debatable.
Okay, so all in favor then?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. This is now tabled. We'll move on to the next item, which is I need a motion to approve the third and final reading of an ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the October 2022 edition to the Independence Urban Renewal Area pursuant to Section 403.19 Code of Iowa. I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. This is a roll call vote then?
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Hertz,
Yes.
Sauter,
Yes.
Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Okay, so then council member reports. Jen, you want to start? Do you have anything? Tom, do you have anything?
We're all good.
Deb?
Yes, just a reminder, this weekend we've got Genuine Game, Friday night. Stuff for people and things going on for the holidays. Ringing bells.
Mike, since you're on the phone, do you have anything special?
Nope.
Mike?
I brought it up to the mayor earlier today. Since I'm going to be resigning the council next month, and I am the representative for Independence on the Upper Wapsie watershed, we're going to need a representative for that watershed, whether it's a member of the council or possibly Todd Sherritt. I would prefer to see a member of the council. It normally meets on a Tuesday afternoon quarterly. Takes about an hour.
Why don't we,
Stick to do that.
what we can do is, we can have a discussion about this at maybe the whole meeting next Monday about it, and depending on what people recommend, I can then do an appointment that you can confirm the following Monday after that. It's still before John's meeting.
That gives everybody a chance to. I actually took over. Al was,
But what I'm saying is, nobody actually. Whoever we should.
Well-
You're the new person.
I would formalize it simply because there is a 28-year agreement on there. And
I'm gonna
Just make it law.
formalize it. I think it's the better way of doing it. So we'll do it at the committee, the whole meeting.
1:30 in the afternoon. And we have a meeting tomorrow. I will be at it.
They do offer virtual options. Physical.
Okay, a couple of things. Number one, the status of we know that the people that are watching us are with bated breath. City manager, we're in the process of the applications are closed. We had 9 applicants. We're in the process of moving the number down to 4 for the actual interviews themselves. The interviews will start on the 10th of December in the morning, and we'll have hopefully 4 applicants that we'll be able to put through the process and come up with a suitable candidate for the city manager's position. Hopefully we'll have somebody on board by early next year. With regard to the police station, we are moving forward with where we were. The expectation from the architect is that we'll have this out for bid sometime around the 6th or 7th of December. To get it out for bid at that point in time, we're hoping to have contractors selected by the end of December. We're hoping to start work by the second week of January. We have been in contact with the current landlord for the police department. They may have a tenant in the process of working out that. So the timing is going to be important to us in terms of how long it takes to get it built, because they want to put somebody in there as soon as possible, and we want to move out and stop paying rent. So we're working on that together. I think that's it. So if there's nothing else, then I need a motion to adjourn. I I need to send it
So,
into closed session, but
you
not till,
wait.
but not till 6:30.
Yeah, so here's my question.
Wouldn't adjourn, just take a recess.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Finished a lot faster.
So then I need a motion to recess until the start of the closed session. Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0, we're now in recess.